Taking a look at today's COVID-19 situation in the country, the number of identified COVID-19 patients in the country stands at 203 as of now. 4 COVID-19 infected people were identified in the Poonani Quarantine Centre this morning. Director General of Health Services Dr. Anil Jasingh stated that the identified patients were taken to the quarantine centre from Beruwala. Meanwhile, the number of recovered patients has increased to 55 today. According to the Health Ministry, 141 people are under medical observation. As of now, 7 people have passed away from COVID-19 in the country. For the past few weeks, the scientists at the Sri Lanka Institute of Nanotechnology have been working hard to address the shortage of swabs to conduct COVID-19 tests. Today, they announced that Slintech was able to reverse engineer these COVID-19 testing swabs, and they are ready for production at a rate of 3,000 swabs per day. What is the state of the quarantine facilities in Sri Lanka? The Government Medical Officers Association points out that there is a risk of increasing the spread of the COVID-19 virus when people who are suspected to have contracted the virus are sent to quarantine centres without being tested first.
52 people who had associated with the 28 people from Suduwalla Jayala who were previously sent to a quarantine centre were taken into custody by the Navy. 28 people who were ordered to self-quarantine in Suduwalla Jayala had evaded quarantine and were taken into custody by the Navy on the 9th of this month and were sent to the quarantine centre in Oluville. 6 of them tested positive for COVID-19. The Navy stated that a group who associated with these 6 patients and the group that was sent for quarantine have been taken into the custody of the Navy. The group includes 43 people from Jayala and 9 people from Markevita. Meanwhile, 67 relatives of the gem businessman in Ratnapura who were quarantined after 2 more members of his family tested positive for the virus returned to their homes from the Diyatalawa quarantine centre yesterday. It has been 1 month and 1 day since the first COVID-19 patient in Sri Lanka was discovered. If we think that we have completely controlled the spread of the virus and that the threat has passed, that is incorrect. It is clear that there are about 3,000 people who have had contact with these 200 patients. The incubation period can extend up to 14 days. Although some of the patients do not show symptoms of the virus, they can spread the virus. We continue to point out the high possibility for the virus to spread as there is a 14-day period where the patient could be infected and not show the symptoms but still spread the virus. So what we should do is identify these patients who do not show symptoms but are infected with the virus and isolate them at various locations. If patients who do not show symptoms are taken to these quarantine centres, there is a risk of the virus entering these quarantine centres as well. There have also been reports of people leaving the quarantine centres being infected by the virus. Meanwhile, a person in Horombawa Narammala was quarantined as he had close contact with a person from Colombo along with 40 others from the area. They were placed under quarantine on the 28th of last month. Yesterday, they were issued certificates as they had completed their quarantine period.
As I mentioned earlier on in the bulletin, authorities, including the Sri Lanka Army, has rendered a yeoman service to implementing the quarantine program in response to COVID-19. Speaking at the Security Forces headquarters in Kilinochchi today, Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva commended the troops for their service.
Impossible is nothing is a saying that we learn at the beginning of our service in the military. We, the Tri-Forces, including the Army, can say we have a 100% success rate in ensuring that there has been no transmission of this virus amongst any of the 3,500 people who were entrusted to us for quarantine. This is excellent even by the standards of other countries around the world. Many powerful countries are unable to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic and quarantine requirements owing to various severe problems. If we continue to operate in line with the instructions of the health authorities of the country as the protectors of the nation, we can ensure that no one else in the country contracts COVID-19. We must rise as a country. Considering the challenges we have faced, COVID-19 is not a major issue. We are in the 5th week now. When looking at the situation when week 4 ended on the 3rd and the manner in which this pandemic has spread, we can humbly say that Sri Lanka has excelled.